So, once again, good evening, children. Here we are briefly starting with all the concepts of supply. So, here comes first of all the meaning of supply. In both letters, you are given the meaning of supply. So, I'm marking the keyword for you. You open your notebooks, hold your pen with you, write the topic supply and law of supply and price elasticity of supply, and side by side start making brief notes what all you all have to do, because PDF already I have sent you. Here I'm starting with the concept of supply, that is the meaning. So the meaning is the quantity which the producers are willing. So willing is the key word that you can't miss. So they are willing to offer for sale at a particular price at during a particular period of time. So these three are the keywords which should be there when you are writing the meaning of supply. And the three features of the supply, that it is a desired quantity. Desired because the supplier is willing to produce, willing to sell. So the second is it is always at a particular price. And the third one, it is a flow variable. That means it is always for a period of time. It is not at a point of time. It is always over a period of time. Okay, per day, per week, per month, per year. So these three are the features. I repeat, it is a desired quantity. That means the supplier is willing to offer for sale. Second, it is always at a particular price. And third, it is always at during a particular period of time. That's why it is a flow variable. Okay, period of time, flow variable, not a point of time. It is not stock variable. अगर point of time होता तो ये stock variable होता, लेकिन क्योंकि period of time है इसलिए ये flow variable है. This is the concept of supply. Is that clear? The quantity of a commodity which the producer is willing to offer for sale at a particular price during a particular period of time. Okay, then comes difference between stock and supply. It is very important. You can frame this answer in T form, the difference between stock and supply. So stock is the total amount. It is the total amount available with the producers, whereas supply is part of stock. Supply is part of it because the producers are willing to bring a part of stock in the market. Okay, so stock is total amount. Supply is a part of it. Is that clear? Okay, stock is a wider concept. Supply is a narrow concept. Stock has no time dimension. Supply has time dimension because stock itself is a stock concept. Whatever I'm speaking, you can write it briefly fast. Stock has no time dimension, whereas supply has time dimension. Stock is always at a point of time. Supply is always over a period of time. This was the difference between stock and supply. Now next is the topic determinants of supply, children. Determinants of supply, that means factors affecting supply. Factors that affect supply, just like factors affecting demand. So the first one is same, price of the commodity. So unlike demand, supply and price, they carry positive relationship. This is must for you to learn and memorize that unlike demand, price and supply, they carry positive relationship. It means if price increases, supply also increases. If price decreases, supply also decreases. Other factors remains constant. Oh, accidentally, I had given you the meaning of law of supply. Because price and supply, they carry positive relationship. Other factors remains constant. This is the statement of law of supply. And this is the relationship between price and supply also. So higher the supply, higher the price, higher will be the commodity offered for sale. If I am a supplier, market में price मेरी commodity का ज़्यादा होगा, so more the quantity I'll be offering for sale, and lesser the price, lesser the quantity I'll be offering for sale. So price and supply, they carry positive relationship. For example, you can see the second determinant, goal of the firm. So the goal of the firm also determines supply. Now how? I think you can read it very clearly. So there can be two goals of the firm. One is profit maximization and the other is sales maximization. Higher the profit, higher the amount supplied. Lower the profit, lower the amount supplied. Is that clear? Higher the profit gained by the seller, higher will be the amount to be supplied by the firms. But if lower the profit, lower will be the amount supplied by the buyers. Now next is sales maximization or risk minimization. So in that case, if the firm aim at minimizing the risk, they will play safe and produce and supply a smaller quantity of the commodity. I repeat, if the firms aim at minimizing risk, in that case, they will supply a smaller quantity of the commodity. Is that clear? Next is input prices. So in case the prices of the inputs will be high, the cost of production will also be high. Children, in the PDF, I have not marked these points, but now I am marking it. So while you are making brief notes, you can write the highlights which are must to be written under explanation. Okay. So if the input prices will be high, the cost of production will also be high. So this will lead a lower amount of output that firms will produce and offer for sale at a given price and vice versa. Likewise, the same is for other determinants of supply: price of commodity, goals of firm, input prices, prices of related commodities, techniques of production, nature of commodity, policy of taxation, expectation, natural factors, agreement, transport and communication. Children, for 6 marks question, you can write 4 points. But you have to go through all the 11 points because any one individual point can come to you under 2 marks. For example, the question can be how transport and communication facilities determines supply, or what will be the effect on supply because of transport and communication facilities. So the answer will be an improvement in the transport and communication facilities will expand the size of market, and this will motivate the producers to produce and supply more. And if the facilities are not good, it will deter the process of production and the producers will produce or supply less. Is that clear? Now this way you have to write for 2 marks. So you have to go through all the points clearly, but for 6 marks, the best 4 points you can write. And the best 4 points perhaps are the first 4 points that you can write for 6 marks. And as you know, we have done in demand function that when these determinants, when they are shown in the form of notational expression, in the form of functional relationship, it becomes supply function. This is called supply function. That is the functional relationship between supply and its determinants. When we give these determinants in the form of expression, it is called supply function. And the keyword for this is relationship or functional relationship between supply and its determinants. It is called supply function. This is another 2 marks concept or 3 marks. This can come in 2 marks or 3 marks. It is same as demand. So I think it's clear to you all. Now next concept, again very simple, as simple like law of demand, law of supply states. Look at the explanation given to you in bold, that when price and supply they carry positive relationship and other things remains constant, it is called law of supply. और other things में क्या आता है? All other determinants of supply except the first, price. So price and supply, when they carry positive relationship and all other determinants are constant. Goal of the firm is constant, input prices are constant, related commodities constant, this, all other are constant. But when price increases, supply also increases, price decreases, supply also decreases. It is called law of supply. Is that clear? The same way law of supply can be explained with the help of supply schedule and supply curve. So simply you can make a supply schedule like price is increasing, supply also increasing. This will be your supply schedule. This is price, this is supply. So this will be your supply schedule. Price is increasing 1 2 3, supply also increases 1 2 3. This becomes your supply schedule. And the curve will be an upward sloping curve. This is called a supply curve. Because price and supply, they are carrying positive relationship. If price is increasing, supply is also increasing. So this is your law of supply, children. Is that clear? So write in brief what all you have to write in law of supply. First of all, the statement. This is the statement. And the keyword other things remain constant is must. Then second, you have to write the assumptions of law of supply. Assumptions. Under assumptions, you will be writing this, that goal of the firm is constant, input prices are constant, prices of related commodities are constant, techniques of production are constant, nature of the commodity is constant, policy of taxation and subsidies constant, everything constant. These are the assumptions. Okay, you can write as many as 6 assumptions. So take any 6 determinants and assume them as constant. Then you have to write the line that law of supply can be explained with the help of supply schedule and supply curve. This is supply schedule. Any figures you can take, any figures. But the price should also be increasing, the supply should also be increasing. You can take 5, 10, 15, 20, 5, 10, 15, 20. Or 5, 10, 15, 20, 60, 70, 80, 90, like this. But both of them should be increasing because we are showing positive relationship between price and supply. And then an upward sloping supply curve. Positive sloping supply curve because price and supply, they carry positive relationship. Is that clear? You remember demand curve is downward sloping because it is having a negative relationship. Supply curve is a positive sloping supply curve because it carries a positive relationship with price. Is that clear? So that's all for just now. In the evening, I'll be posting the next part of the chapter. So do it, revise it, make note of it, and see you in the evening once again. Happy Ashtami, all of you children. Stay safe.